It's really cool. Something I've never encountered before. It's called a riverine assault craft run by the Marines. Apparently, this entire thing could be airlifted by a CH-53. The 4-man crew, and it could carry up to 15 additional Marines on it. They use for river patrols. And of course, a heavy 10-ton wrecker. This is a World War II machine. So you can definitely tell by the tires are very World War II-ish looking. Not to mention the canvas cab. They started getting this a lot in World War II to reduce the weight and height of the vehicle. Okay, we got some foreign stuff right here. This is pretty cool. So this is a BMP. Don't ask me what it stands for. It's Russian words that I can't pronounce. This is the earlier model. This is the BMP-1, which you can tell by the turret and the gun system mounted right there. So this is a very low power 73mm cannon. Basically, it's meant for infantry support. And you wish they kind of put this next to the M1 or the M2, so you just see the contrast into design philosophies, if you will. But you can note just how much lower to the ground this is.
This is Russian?
This is Russian, yes.
Their wheels are wee.
Yeah. But you can see that this is significantly lower to the ground compared to the Bradley, but also much less uncomfortable for the crew. Much less comfortable for the crew?
Much less comfortable. I was going to say, how could that be more comfortable?
Yeah.
That was tight.
I can speak English. You can definitely see just the height is with the, and instead of a ramp like the U.S. does, is you have a pair of crew doors. So you would open these and then the guys would climb out. But just look, this is what you had to climb out of. This is about like 3.5 feet. Like the U.S. with you drop the ramp and everybody can run out more or less already upright. And this you're climbing out, and it's going to take a couple seconds to get to kind of oriented and such. You know, see the driver compartment right here. And we have a T-62 as one of the main battle tanks. Very commonly used by the Iraqi forces. So T-62, this is kind of a more, well, I want to say middle, what year was this come out in? Entered service in 61. But still very commonly used with a lot of Middle Eastern forces, although upgraded. So you got, again, you can see the height difference on here compared to the U.S. And they're still using the Christie suspension on this.
And there's no skirt.
Yes.
So it feels like it would be more vulnerable?
Correct. Yeah, I cannot remember if they have a variant that mounts skirts. I'm sure they do. This particular one does not. So yeah, it definitely it increases the vulnerability of the suspension to artillery fire and so on and so forth. You definitely see the turret height is significantly lower and smaller than the U.S. variants. Additional, also, these could be jettisoned in the event of combat if you had enough time. But these were additional fuel tanks to increase the range. Right here, along with this drum right here. There we go. So again, you know, very bad to roll into combat with 55 gallons of diesel attached to your back.
Seems like a bad.
But yeah, this is also like a common Soviet thing. As they continue to do it, is the patch folding forward. as a comment, the T-34 was famously one of the first ones, and it was a terrible idea because it's in order to peer around the hatch, because the theory being is that he's got a bulletproof thing in front of him.
Right. But you have to look. But you have
But
to
you have
see
to
where you're
you have to
going.
poke your head up and around, so and it's at the top of the tank, so you're basically like skylining your head as you try to poke over top of this, instead of it being a backdrop to hide your silhouette. So, T-62. Okay. And we'll go ahead to the. Let's see. This looks to be a T-72. Let's see. Yes, I am correct. Still got it. So T-72 main battle tank, slightly newer variant. I think variant, completely new tank. First came out in 1972. Note the turret of the shape of the turret is a much flatter, but not as round. So it looks kind of like squash compared to the T-62. The T-62 looks more like a dome, and this looks I call it a little more like a pancake. But fun things you can see, they got a searchlight right there for night fighting. Again, 72, so it's much older technology. It was common for a lot of U.S. tanks in the 60s and 70s to have spotlights as well. But I think a lot of them were infrared spotlights.
What were these things used for?
This is a mine plow.
Oh.
So you would basically, right here. So you would drop these, and they would plow in front to be able to pick up mines and throw. And ways angled, as you can see, that it'll throw mines off to the side. You couldn't turn very well with it. So you basically like pointed yourself, and then you would plow through like an obstacle belt or a minefield, and then the other tanks would follow behind you. Kind of a neat fact is when you did that, you had to make sure you had to swing your turret around to the back, because if you had it out front and you detonated a mine, the explosion would destroy your tank barrel.
That would be a bad.
Your gun barrel, right? So you're the lead guy.
Yeah.
You're charging into enemy fire, into their obstacle belt,
right,
so that you can get the mines out of the way, but you're not allowed to shoot back.
You're not allowed to shoot back.
Because you had to keep your turret turned around. Yeah. Good times. Okay. Oh, and we have this monster right here.
What is this?
This is an M60A1. We seem to have a lot of Marine Corps stuff here, which is interesting. I wonder why that is. A lot of Marine Corps equipment, which is weird for Arizona. But, anywho, yeah, these were still being. This is probably a Desert Storm version. Let's see what it says. Yep, the last M60 was retired in 1997. The Marines were the ones still using it. So this is an A1 version, which is not the newest version. But the Marines did. You see all these square boxes on the tank? This is reactive armor. So it's basically 2 metal plates with C4 sandwiched in between. Sorry. Explosives. Yeah, so it's 2 metal plates with a layer of explosives in the middle.
And the idea. This on your tank?
Yes. It disrupts shaped charges, which most RPGs and missiles use a shaped charge. Basically, it's when the warhead is, in the simplest terms, when the warhead, a shaped charge detonates, it focuses all the explosive into a point.
Okay.
And then that point will burn through the armor. Having basically an explosive outside, because you can see it's not against the vehicle.
Oh, okay, yeah.
You can see that there's some space. There's some spacing between it. And so it would detonate, and this explosion would disrupt the shaped charge and prevent it from penetrating the main armor.
still seems weird.
Yeah, I don't know who thought that up, but here we are. So yeah, again, early model U.S. tank, 70s and 80s. I want to say, although the Marines continued to use it through 1997. But you can see just the height of it; it's huge.
Yeah, this is.
The tank commander would have an enclosed machine gun mount, so he could fire from inside the turret. Although as I understand, it only had a 50 or 100 round belt, and was a pain in the butt to reload. The way the machine gun was set up there, I want to say it was like it's turned sideways because of the way the mount is in there, and it's just very difficult to reload. Oh, they let you get inside or look inside this one. So this is a M-88. This is a newer variant, which you can tell by the extra side skirts and armor on it. So this is a maintenance and recovery vehicle. Yep, it's the M-88 A2 Hercules. So this was built in, let's see, entered service in 1961, but has gone on some upgrades since, basically to add more weight to it and to make it a more powerful engine, so that you can haul the M1s around. When I was in, we had an earlier model M88s. I think we had the M88 A1, and it was not as heavy and had a less powerful engine, so it would often struggle pulling tanks around. So this spade right here, this is not a dozer blade. It's basically, you drop it and dig it into the ground so that when you had to use the winch or the crane, it would anchor the vehicle in place.
That makes a lot of sense.
Now, fun fact, when I did a display of one of these on 4th Street in front of on the U.S. The National Mall, and I told the crews to, okay, go ahead and demonstrate your vehicles, do all the things, spin your turrets, put the crane up on the M88.
They did not.
And the
drop
crew,
this
yes,
onto the National Mall.
Yes, the crew dropped that spade onto the National Mall and put a divot precisely this size into 4th Street.
Oh no.
I don't know if anybody saw it before we left, but no one contacted me afterwards, so so we got some vision blocks right here. This winch could actually pull a tank out of something if it got stuck. Generally, though, is they would use the tow ropes and would be attached to these shackles right here and just pull it out that way. So we got some vision blocks there for the driver to see out of. Let's see what they let us inside.
Yeah.
Inside, we can actually look inside. They're actually, fairly roomy, all things considered. You can see the commander's seat right there. Yeah, for an armored vehicle, fairly spacious. Interesting to realize on the new variant they split the doors. It used to be one door. That was a pain. And so we got a tow bar mounted right here. This is a more. It was. We have to use the tow bars because instead of the tow cables because it was easier to. Easier to control. You look inside.
Yeah, I do.
Really spacious.